Okay guys, we made it through our twin pregnancy. I can't believe I'm saying this. First, let me just say, I actually can't believe that they're here already. I had so much anxiety going into this twin pregnancy, but even more the thought of having them. If you guys didn't know, my delivery with Saber was actually pretty traumatic. The quick sum up, Saber was almost 10 pounds, and when I got to the hospital, we didn't have time for an epidural. Everything was really fast. Like I said, just kind of traumatic. So I was already going into this pregnancy a little hesitant, even before finding out that they were twins, just for that fact. But I kid you not, the pregnancy was 10 times harder than the actual delivery. It's like a quick little backstory that's kind of important of how we got to our whole delivery day. So my leg had been really swollen for, I want to say, since the beginning of the pregnancy, but it got really bad more towards the end. But there weren't any other signs of it being like dangerous. My blood pressure was normal. They didn't think I was preeclamptic or anything like that. At this point, we're basically just keeping an eye on it and making sure that nothing crazy is about to happen. But it did start to get worse. Like the back of my calf was really tender. It felt super hard, like almost like something was in there. So the paranoia in me started Googling, and I came across something about DVT, which is like a blood clot. I got really worried because it came with a bunch of other scary side effects. And that weekend, right before I gave birth, I ended up going into urgent care, and the doctor that saw me kind of agreed. So she sent me over to get an ultrasound on the calf, and everything came back normal, negative. That following Monday, I also already had an ultrasound set up because I was being seen weekly for the babies, and I brought it up to my OB again. So she sent me to go do some like routine lab work and see if anything was like suspicious. The very next day I get my lab work done. Nothing had really changed with the leg. It was still super painful. I was like elevating it, wearing compression socks, doing everything. But again, not really worried because my blood pressure was normal. The following day after that was just a regular day. I had taken the kids to school. I was feeling fine. Leg still exactly the same. When I had picked Saber up from school, I received a call from my OB. She had gotten my results back from the lab work that she had sent. This is when she got pretty worried because the protein in my urine was high. It wasn't normal. And she basically said, come into triage. Let's just put monitors on the baby, on you, and try to figure out what's going on with this leg. He called my husband. I told him what they told me, and he was pretty much like, I should just come, but let's just be sure and go in together. At this point, I also didn't have my hospital bag ready, so we just came home and started throwing everything together. I thought we were just gonna go get the babies checked out, and we'd be back that same night at home, waiting either for my induction date, which was set for the 26th, or I would go into spontaneous labor. So I'm in triage. With monitoring the babies, they had the little monitor that kind of tracks your contractions and stuff. OB that came in, she started asking like, do you feel anything? She looked super worried, and I'm like, no, I feel fine. And that's when she was like, you're actually contracting like every 3 to 5 minutes, and they're pretty strong. She asked, do you mind if I do a cervical check and see if you're dilated? Like, while she's doing her check, her eyes like wide open. Yeah, we're gonna have to admit you because you're like 5 centimeters dilated. Still not processing everything she was saying. I was kind of like, false labor. I'm still thinking there's a chance that I can go home. We got admitted, we got to our room. They asked if I wanted the epidural. I still wasn't feeling much, so I wasn't sure. But after the experience I had with Saber, I was like, you know what? Let's just get it ahead of time because I'll not be giving birth to 2 babies without an epidural. So let's just get that done and over with. And let me just say, the people that took care of me were amazing. All the nurses from beginning to end, my anesthesiologist that did my epidural, that was the fastest, most painless epidural ever. Like, I literally didn't feel a thing. And once my epidural was in, she did another cervical check, and I want to say maybe 6 or 7, so I hadn't advanced too much, but my contractions were still close to each other and they were really strong. She suggested that we go in with something to speed it up a little bit, and she gave me the Pitocin, which I've had before, and I'd never had a bad experience with that. But at this point is when it's like reality started to click in for me, and it was like, oh, I'm probably having babies soon. I kind of started to panic. It's important to mention that the doctor, the OB that was set to deliver for me, he was not comfortable doing a breached extraction, and both of the girls were head down, but they were warning me that at any moment after I had baby A, baby B could flip, and he would not be willing to go in and get her, so that would result into having a C-section. Panicking because Like, do I just opt for a C-section? Why would I give birth and have to end up getting a C-section anyways? You know what I mean? Really, between my husband and the nurses, like, I felt super safe and good that everything was gonna be fine. I want to say it's about like 1 a.m. and maybe around like 1:30, she checks me again and I am full blown 10 centimeters, like ready to go, ready to push. Of course, when you're delivering twins, there's high risks of a C-section, so I already knew this prior. I'm gonna be delivering in the OR. We're basically watching the monitors. It was time to push baby A. She was ready to come out. I pushed for maybe 60 seconds and baby A came out. They put her on me and everything was great. My husband cut the cord and then they took her away for a little bit. I could feel baby B and I swear I was holding on to her for dear life because I was like, there's no way that this baby is gonna flip right now. Like, we've made it this far and we're gonna push her out. They check and they go, she's head down still, hasn't moved, just kind of waiting for her to make her way down. And like no more than 4 minutes later, I was feeling contractions again and it was time to push. Again, I pushed for like 30 to 60 seconds and she came out too. Near painless, like obviously I had my epidural, it worked great. I really didn't feel much. She checked, there was no tearing. I'm as shocked as you are saying these things. This was my dream labor and delivery. Obviously they were born preterm, 36 weeks and like 4 or 5 days. So I knew they were about to have a bunch of, you know, little tests done. Again, another miracle, no NICU time. They were pretty strong and like healthy. If anything, I had more workups done because my leg was still super swollen. So I had more ultrasounds done on the leg. Like I had more things going on with me than the babies. The babies were like perfect little girls. Just to think how much anxiety I had at the beginning of this pregnancy, aside from, you know, giving birth, just in general, it has truly been like a dream. We're still very much in our newborn bubble. They're so stinking cute. Watching my husband become a girl dad is like, I am hormonally overloaded in the best way though. And on top of that, my postpartum journey has also been good. Straight on, it doesn't look that bad. To the side, I'm still very much like 4 months pregnant looking, but that's besides the point. I don't even care about any of that. I'm just so happy that I had healthy, perfect little girls, and I'm so excited to share this whole motherhood journey with you guys. It's definitely, so far, it's been too good to be true. My breast milk somehow came in like 3 days in. They're feeding, they're sleeping, and I'm just so grateful, and I thank God and my husband and everybody that I've had such a great experience. And I hope that anybody who sees this, who is having birth anxiety, whether you're having twins or just one baby, that this makes you feel super positive. But yeah, thank you guys for hanging out with me. I finished my makeup way too early before the story was even over. But again, I've seen everyone's messages and my heart is all warm and tingly. But I will see you guys in the next video.